talk about how to change the filter in a Rainbow because there's a lot of Rainbows out there, and we get calls every day about people wanting service on their Rainbow. And that's not just the Rainbow vacuum. That's your Aris vacuum. That's your Electrolux vacuum. That's your Kirby vacuum. It's becoming more and more difficult to get these vacuums serviced because there's nobody going door to door anymore. So Kirby, Aris, Electrolux, Rainbow, TriStar, they're good machines that hold up a long time, but it's tough to get a hold of somebody to come and fix them. So that's why we recommend, we're going to show you how to change the filter in a Rainbow, and we're going to talk about some basic service stuff. But like anything else, we really recommend that you go to your local vac shop. VacuumRepairShop.com is our directory, and you can find a local vac shop in your area, and it may be the local Rainbow service area, or service station, or I guess what should I call it? Service station, service center. Let's call it that. So it could be your local Rainbow service center, and maybe just your local vac shop. But that's really where you want to go to get your vacuum cleaner serviced or get the right filter or whatever it is you may need. If you go to our directory, VacuumRepairShop.com, and you can't find someone in your area, we have 2 vacuum stores of our own. We'll be more than happy to help you over the phone. We have an inside staff that's been trained and knows how to fix vacuums and knows where to get parts and can ship you the parts, but we do prefer that you do it locally. So VacuumRepairShop.com. If you can't find a local vacuum shop, then 1-800-263-5425. 1-800-263-5425. We'll direct you to the local vacuum shop where you can get your Rainbow filter, Rainbow belt, or whatever other service you need on the Rainbow. And if your local Rainbow distributor is not on VacuumRepairShop.com, I might suggest that they should join us, okay? They should be one of our premier or verified members. And that's another thing. Always look for the premier verified members. But enough said about VacuumRepairShop.com. Most people don't realize there's a HEPA filter on the back of their Rainbow. So the door-to-door salesperson sells you the Rainbow. It's a great machine. A lot of people love the Rainbow. I'm not here to discuss whether it's a good idea or bad idea, but a lot of people use it for a year or two and neglect the HEPA filter in the back. And it's very important. Before this E2 model, before this particular design, there was no HEPA filter on the back. The claim to fame was that we used water as the filtration. Well, when they came out with this model, on the back of it, HEPA became very popular, so everybody started using HEPA filters. So in addition to the water as a filter, and again, I'm not here to discuss whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, but there is now a HEPA filter on the back of the Rainbows, and it can do more harm than good if you don't check that filter and replace it regularly. So here's what I mean. So I'm not, and that filter has changed a couple times, okay? So this is for the latest version, this one with the oval on the back. But I'm gonna open this one real quick because I'm not really sure which one this is. And this is another reason why you need the local vacuum shop and why you don't wanna buy things like this online without talking to somebody first. So they can check your model number, check your serial number, make sure that you're getting the right parts. So that's why we always suggest going to your local vac shop. So on the back of this machine, underneath the cord, okay, let's take it off of the dowel, which is the 4 wheels. So let's take it off of there, and let's look on the back here. And you're gonna need a butter knife or a screwdriver or something, because you gotta just kind of pry that open right there. So on the back here, and again, I know this is gonna be a surprise to some people, but there is a filter on the back. And a lot of people, when you say check the filter, they'll look at the back of the filter and they'll see that this is all white and they'll think it's clean, okay? That's not where you're supposed to look. Of course, that's always going to look clean because that's not the part that's attached to the machine. That's not the part that's attached to the exhaust. So underneath here, and again, it doesn't matter if we're big fans of Rainbow or not. The bottom line is they do need some maintenance. They do require some maintenance. They do require that you do more so than a regular vacuum. A vacuum that works with water, and you're constantly putting water through there. Every vacuum works the same way, whether you have a water, whether you have a bag, whether you have a filter. They all pump air in, they let air out. This one has to, the filter is water and the HEPA filter, so it's traveling through water and then out to the HEPA filter. So a lot of times, if it's been on there for a while, we'll actually see, now this machine has been cleaned and serviced, but this is where you want to look, inside here. And I would say as a general rule, once every year, never more than 2 years, you want to replace the filter. But when you do replace the filter, when you take that filter off, you want to look in the back to see how dirty it is. Again, this machine has been cleaned a little bit, But most of the time, if you've had your rainbow for longer than a year or two, you can look in the back there and you're gonna see that it's loaded with dirt. So that's the stuff that went through the water. It didn't go back out in the air, but the motor can actually, especially with the heat, the motor gets a little bit hot. It's sitting over water. The condensation can kind of draw the water into the motor. So it really is required that you clean the rainbow regularly. So when I took this off, I found out this is not. Now, most rainbow filters will say they're washable, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend you throw it away and you get a new filter. So this is not the filter for this one. Again, this is why you need the vac shop, to make sure you're getting the right filter. So let's open this one and we'll put the correct filter on the correct machine. But they all come apart the same way. Again, we'll take this off the dolly. So you can see the difference. They're different filters. A lot of people don't even know that's what that's for. If they're cord wrapped, so you can just take the cord down real easy. So, okay, and then again, we're going to pry this with a butter knife or a screwdriver. And then we're going to pop this. These machines have been cleaned in our shop, so the filters have already been replaced. But you're going to take this off, and again, you're going to look on this side to see if it's dirty. Okay, and you're going to see a lot of dirt inside it. Now we already have the new filter on there, but you're going to look in there to see if it's dirty, and then you're going to replace it. But again, as a rule, this one actually says you can wash it, but don't use soap. Okay, so you can rinse it through water. Don't use soap. But what's going to happen is if you put it back on the machine wet, the dirt's really going to accumulate in there. It's going to make mud, and the motor is not going to be able to breathe, and the air is not going to pass through it. So if you are going to wash this, you really got to let it dry. But again, our recommendation is throw it in the garbage and get a new filter at your local vac shop. Look in here, make sure it's all clean. If it's not clean, then you want to bring it down to the local vac shop and get it clean. So we're going to pop the new filter in there, and then we're going to close it up. Sir, how are you? And then we got a customer here, so this is exciting. Maybe he'll want a new rainbow. Go ahead. You can turn that off.
Action.
All right. So anyway, this is interesting. We're back. We had a customer, which is our priority, taking care of you, the consumer, the customer. So anyway, this is one of the reasons why you want to go to the local vac shop, or you want to call us at vacuumrepairshop.com. I just noticed the difference in the filters, and I don't know how this one ended up here. I don't know. We can buy genuine filters. We can buy knockoff filters, and the choice is yours. What you want to get from the local vacuum shop. But this one, they're slightly different. And when you buy online, you risk getting the wrong one, and it can be a little frustrating because when I went to put this in, it didn't work. Now, luckily, I have the right one here. Okay, so I went to put this in, and I noticed that I was having a hard time putting the back cover on. And then I looked close at the filters, and I could see that they're slightly different right here. And I don't know if it's because it's from a different machine or because it's a knockoff. I do know this one has the rainbow logo on it, so this one's a genuine. This one may be too, I don't know, because it wasn't in a package in the back. But the local vac shop can take care of it for you and make sure you're getting the right filter. If I was to try to put this on, I probably would have broke the cover, the filter cover, okay? And then we'd have a problem on our hands. That's why, again, go to your local vac shop or call us at vacuumrepairshop.com, 1-800-263-5425, okay? So I'm gonna put this back on. Sorry, I just did that. I did not mean to be throwing the cover around like that. I don't want to break it. Again, right like this. Now here's something else a little tricky about this that I should point out, because I've made this mistake before. We took it out from the bottom first, but you see that right here at the top, there's a couple of notches on the top of this filter cover. And if you put this in the bottom first, you're gonna have a tough time closing this because it's not gonna fit properly. So again, up to this point, relatively easy. You can't make a mistake taking the cover off if you have the right filter, putting it on. But when you go to put the cover back on, you gotta put it the top first, okay? The top first, then the bottom, okay? So it's securely on there. And you can actually open that up for some reason, I don't know why. But if you want, I guess if you want, you can put the attachment hose in the back here and maybe use it as an exhaust, I suppose, if you want. But I've never tried that with the Rainbow. I think I'm going to try it now. These are the things we discovered. We replaced some filters. I'm going to try that right now. I did not know what that was for. Me, the vacuum guy, 40 years later, always learning. So that's how you replace the filter. And then when it comes time to wrap the cord up, you're going to open that cord wrap up, and you're going to wrap it up just like this. Okay, so speaking of wrapping it up, that's a wrap.